Welcome back. We are continuing on with our series 25 inspirational stories to encourage you in your business journey. Listen, if you're an entrepreneur and small business owner, the journey can be long. You might find some failures. You hopefully will find some successes, even if you find those failures. And I think it's important for you to be encouraged along your journey and also find ways to encourage others, which I covered in the first video after the intro. Before we get started, I want you to do me a favor, click the subscribe button, click the thumbs up, and then also click the alert button so you're notified of when new videos come out. And again, this series is hopefully going to be some inspiring to you to keep plugging away, to keep trying, and not to be discouraged because you're faced with a lot of negativity from, customers to other vendors, to the economy flailing, all kinds of obstacles that are gonna discourage you along the way, and that's natural. What you're feeling is okay, and these stories that I'm sharing with you will hopefully give you some examples about people who went on to be wildly successful even after they failed. This final story is not written. Do not be discouraged long term. It's okay to lick your wounds sometimes, but I want to just encourage you not to give up, to keep on fighting. Sometimes you have to take a break in life. Sometimes you'll see some of these stories where people went on, face failure late in their life, and you may be thinking, man, I'm in my 50s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and I can't do it anymore. And that's not true. And I shared in the last story about JC Penney, who experienced some great trauma in his finances and with his business during the Great Depression in his mid to late 50s and had to fight back. So go check that one out. I'll leave a link in the playlist for you in the description of the video to the playlist for this. And then I also want to encourage you to listen to the very first intro video, which talks about the valley of disappointment. And I think that's a good one for you to start out with. So after you finish this video, if you didn't check out the first video, check that one out too. I think it helps give some good perspective as you're trying to start your business. And again, I'm in this with you. I'm trying to grow, my YouTube channels, small biz shout out and free advice from your uncle. I got picked up another subscriber, by the way. Thank you to whoever that was. I can't see who that is, but appreciate you joining, and if you were the one who made the comment, I appreciate you doing that on one of the videos, the interview with Scott Brown. So again, I'm in it with you, I'm fighting with you. So we're going to talk about Walter Elias Disney today. And Walt Disney obviously founded the Disney Studios and Disneyland and Disney World, and inspired a whole generation of creators as well that we enjoy today, right? And there's a lot of great content that this company, even though Disney died back in '66, there's a lot of great content they're putting out. Now, here's the deal. Walt Disney didn't have it, easy. Wasn't born with a, golden spoon in his mouth, and experienced some setbacks as well. He lost the creative rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, and I'm going to let you guys um, check the in-depth biographies out. This is not meant to do that at all in terms of providing you an in-depth biography. There's a lot of YouTube channels and stories out there, a lot of stuff on the web for it, but again, this is just meant to give you a summary and just maybe encourage you to dig in a little bit deeper if one of these stories resonates with you. Maybe it's in the same vertical you're in, but again, he lost his creative rights, meaning that he couldn't build his company on what he had intended, right? And so he had to come, basically that's what forced him to come up with Mickey Mouse, which is a worldwide brand, right? That's still going and thriving today. He and his company also went bankrupt, which, I've experienced that in one of my businesses as well, back in the dot-com bubble. That is a brutal experience to go through when you lose your company because of the economy and things that happen that are out of your control. And you can beat yourself up. You can, look back on it. I was very hard on myself. And again, that's okay to be hard on yourself. But there were things that were out of control with 9/11 happening and the dot-com bubble bursting all at the same time. One of my companies was an airline, or the customers was an airline, and when they stopped flying, they had to apply for federal aid. And they stopped all spending, and we were on tap to get a lot of revenue from them in the upcoming years, and we're doing great. But again, I beat myself up pretty hard about that. And again, I'm still trying though, and I want to encourage you to still try. And to that, he experienced a nervous breakdown in the process of doing that. You got to make sure you maintain your mental health. You got to keep things in perspective. You've got to be okay with failing if you're in this game of being an entrepreneur. And I just want to encourage you to not give up, to keep the lights on, to make sure that you keep things in perspective, that your failures potentially, hopefully you don't have one, but sometimes it helps define you. And Walt Disney also had a statement that said, you know, some during the time, it really is horrible when you're going through it, but sometimes there's nothing better than a good kick in the teeth to help put you on the path to success. And I'm basically summarizing. But again, despite these setbacks that he had also, look at what he produced. So again, this series is meant to encourage you. I want to make sure that you are doing everything you can to fight, to encourage other people, get into other small business groups of entrepreneurs that are also fighting, and encourage each other. You know, share tips and experiences and stories like this, and you know, hopefully we'll all get through this, and hopefully we'll find success. So thank you for checking in. I appreciate your time. I know your time is valuable. Do me a favor, click the subscribe button, click the thumbs up, and click the alert button so you're notified, like I mentioned, of new videos that come out. And then also feel free to share this playlist with other people that might need to be encouraged as well. And save it, by the way. So in case you need to go back and when you're having a tough day or week, and you can go back and, you know, keep things in perspective. So we'll talk to you at the next video, and thanks again for stopping by.